In this video, we'll be hunting a box of nickels. We'll be looking for anything older than 1960, including Silver War nickels, Buffalo nickels, or anything older. We'll also be looking for any proofs, foreigns, heirs of varieties, or any other cool things we can find. I have checked for enders in this box, and I do see one. Looks like an older Jefferson. It has a Denver mint mark. We'll see when we get to that roll, but besides that, no confirmed enders. And if this box doesn't have enough finds, I will add a second box onto this video to make it a 2-box hunt. Anyways, let's start the hunt on nickel box number 1 of the video, and I'll bring you in on the first find. Roll 2, and the first find of the hunt is actually going to be a foreign. Open this roll, and I see the edge of a Canadian nickel right there, and it is from 1990. Roll 7, and I just uncovered the first older find of the box, and it is a 1942, and these couldn't be silver, and these could not be silver. This one does not look silver, just looks like a normal nickel. And it is, and it's just a Philly, but still, that's a great first older Jefferson find. Roll 9, we have our second find from the 40s, and it is 1948, minted in Philly. Roll 12, and we have another find. This one's another one from the 40s. Still no 50s yet, but I'll take the 40s. We have a 1946 from Philly. Roll 14, and we have yet another find from the 40s. This one is our oldest so far, a 1940 from Philly. Roll 16, we have a semi-key date found. It is another one from the 40s. It's a 1948 out of San Francisco, which is a semi-key date, but as you can tell, it's pretty beat up and damaged, but still, it's a 48S semi-key date. Not going to be worth too much from the damage, but still, that's a cool find. Roll 18 had 2 finds, including our first nickel from the 50s. We did have a 40s, a 1947 from San Francisco. The 50s was 1952 out of Denver. Roll 24, we have a couple of finds from the 50s, and they are 1952 out of Denver and 1959 that's also from Denver. Just open the next roll. Roll 25. We're definitely going to have a silver, one away from being an ender right there. Haven't looked at it, but that edge looks just exactly like a Silver War nickel would look. And it is. It's a 1945 out of Denver, 35% Silver War nickel found halfway through the box. That's an awesome find. Next roll, we're going to have yet another find from the 40s. This one is 1947 out of Philly. Roll 32 had the ender that I thought looked old, and it did turn out to be from the 40s, 1949, out of Denver. Roll 35, we have a couple more finds from the 50s, and they are 1956 from Denver and another 1959 Denver. Just open the next roll, and I see the edge of the second foreign of the hunt. It looks like it's going to be another Canadian nickel, which it is, and this time it's from 1985. Roll 41, and we have a couple more finds from the 50s once again. This time we have 1957 Denver and another 1959 that's also from Denver. Roll 45, and we have a couple more finds once again. This time we have one from the 40s, 1940 from Philly, and once again another 1959 Denver. First nickel box has been hunted, and I am going to add a second box onto this video, but this first box was definitely a pretty good one. Got a handful from the 40s as well as a handful from the 50s like normal. We got 2 Canadians, and then the best find of the box was definitely the 1945 Denver Silver War nickel. Actually in decent shape for being a silver. They're usually pretty worn. But we did get silver in the box, which means it was definitely a good box. Still, again, I'm just going to add a second box on this video to make it a little longer. So I'll be back when I pick up nickel box number 2. It's been a couple weeks, but I am back with nickel box number 2 for the video. This box does look pretty promising. We do have a couple of enders. Right here we have a 1946, and near the end we have a Canadian ender as well as a few other older looking Jefferson enders as well. So this box definitely looks pretty good. We'll have to get into the rolls to see. Maybe we'll have a silver Buffalo in here. We'll definitely have to see about that. So let's start the hunt on nickel box number 2, and I'll bring you in on the first find. Just opened the second roll, and we do have that Canadian ender later in the box, but I just opened this roll, and I see the edges of 2 Canadian nickels in this roll. First one I see is right here, and it's a 1998, and the other one is right here. These are the Canadian nickels 3 and 4 for the hunt. That one is a 1989. Same roll, also had the first Alder Jefferson of the box, which was 1940, minted in Philly. Roll 4 had a couple of finds from the 50s, which were 1953 from Philly and 1958 from Denver. Next roll, we have another find from the 40s. This one is another one from 1940, but this time it's from Denver. Roll 10, we have a couple more nickels from the 50s, and they are 1952 from San Francisco and another 1958 Denver. Roll 13 was that roll with the 40s nickel ender, had a couple other finds as well. The ender was that 1946, and it is from Denver. Also had one more 40s in the roll, 1941 from Philly, and one from the 50s as well, which was another 1958 out of Denver. Roll 14, and I bring you in the middle of the roll because I did just uncover 1942. This is the second 1942 of the hunt. First one was not silver. This one doesn't look like it's going to be silver either. And it's not just a 1942 Philly, but we'll definitely take a transition year nickel. Next roll, once again, we have yet another find from the 40s. This time we have 1946 out of Philly. Next roll once again, and the streak of 40s is going to continue, this time with a pretty worn 1946 out of Denver. Just opened roll 18, and I see the edge of the 5th forn of the hunt. It looks like it's going to be a Canadian like all the other ones are, which it is, and this one is from 1979, which means it says a pure nickel Canadian. First one of those of the hunt. That's an awesome find. Roll 19 had a couple more finds from the 40s, which were 1941 out of San Francisco and 1946 from Denver. Roll 26, and we have a couple more finds. First, we have our new oldest of the hunt, which is from the 30s. It's a 1939 out of Philly, though. It's not the DDR, and it is very slick, probably one of the most worn Jefferson nickels I've ever found, but it is our first find from the 30s, which is an awesome find. And we also have yet another 1958 out of Denver. Just opened roll 29, and I see the edge of forn number 6 for the hunt. Definitely a lot of forns in this box. Looks like it's going to be another Canadian nickel, which it is. Can we get another one that's pure nickel? And we are. 1968, second pure nickel Canadian of the hunt. That's another awesome find. Roll 33, and I just uncovered the second 30s nickel of the hunt. It's going to be another 1939. Hopefully this will now have a mint mark to be a key date. If not, hopefully it's the DDR. Let's see what it is. And it's definitely not going to be a key date, and it doesn't look like it's going to be the DDR, but still, second 1939 nickel of the hunt. That's another awesome find. Roll 35, and we have a couple more finds from the 50s, and we have 1955 from Denver and 1958 out of Philly. Just opened the next roll, and I might see a silver edge because I just opened this roll. I see the edge of a 1942 there, and it does look like it might have the silver color. Let's hope it is. And it definitely looks like it's going to be a silver war nickel, and it is. 1942 out of Philly, 35% silver war nickel. Second silver of the hunt, one for each box. That's definitely awesome. 2 silvers. Let's go. Same roll. We even had a couple more finds. First is a 1949, and this is a 1949S, which is a semi-key date. So we got a silver and a semi-key date in the same roll. So it's definitely an awesome roll. And we also had 1952 out of Philly as well. Roll 39, we have another nickel from the 40s. This time we have 1940, minted in San Francisco. Roll 41, we have our first nickel from 1951 of the hunt, and it is 1951 Denver. Next roll had a couple more 1950s nickels. This time we have 1952 from Philly and a 1957 from Philly as well. Roll 44 was that Canadian nickel ender. I just opened the roll. Don't see anything else, but here's our Canadian ender. It's actually going to make number 7 for the hunt. Definitely a lot of forns in this hunt. This Canadian is from 2000. Roll 49, we have a couple more finds from the 50s, which are 1953 from San Francisco and 1957 out of Denver. Second nickel box has been hunted, so let's go over the finds. We ended up with 21 estimates. Foreigns, we ended up with 7, all were Canadian. 7 foreigns, definitely a good amount for a hunt. Plus, 2 of them were pure nickel from 1968 and 1979, which is pretty cool. 2 miscellaneous finds, we did get 2009s, neither in great shape, but still, did get 2 in a hunt, don't find many of those. Now for the older Jeffersons, we got a great amount for 2 boxes, definitely a lot from the 40s and the 50s. We did get 2 semi-key dates, which were 1948S, 1949S. 48S is pretty damaged, 49S not in great shape either, but still, we did get 2 semi-key dates in the hunt, which is awesome. Plus, we did get 2 from the 30s, both 1939 fillies, but still, we'll definitely take that as well. And the finds of the hunt, we did find 2 silver Warnicles out of box number 2. We got a 1942 out of Philly, and out of box number 1, we got a pretty decent shape, 1945 Denver. You usually find Warnicles a lot more slick like that 1942, but this 1945 Denver is definitely in better shape, so we'll definitely take that. So 2 silvers, lots of older Jeffersons, and lots of foreigns. We'll definitely take that. This was definitely an awesome 2-box nickel hunt.